Hello and welcome back to another video, and you know what happened today. It is Ash Ketchum's final episode of Pokemon. So let's get into it and I hope you enjoy. So right off the bat, this one was just pulling out all the stops emotionally. Straight away it had me sobbing with Ash saying bye to Misty and Brock, and very reminiscent of their farewell from the original series, which just hit home even harder. It was just such a nice episode, and you could really feel that this is the end. Every moment meant so much just because you could feel the weight that this is the final time you're going to be seeing certain things happen. And yeah, that just hit even harder, and it was done so well. The tone, the music, everything was just really well put together. Ash heads home to Pallet Town. He meets up with Mimey and his mum, and his mum has actually got him some new shoes with the trademark tick thing that he had on his hat. And these shoes turn out to be quite important, as every little moment we kind of zoom in on the shoes, and it kind of brings our attention to that for a few seconds in different moments of the episode. But Ash leaves the shoes behind for now. He goes off to Professor Oak's lab, and we see the man, the myth, the legend. This was just so cool to see. Tracy Sketchit, he finally talks. I think it's been something like 17 years or something silly. He just hasn't made an actual speaking appearance, I think, since Diamond and Pearl, or even Advanced Generation, I can't remember. But it's been a long time, and this was massive for me as I'm a big Tracy fan. And we also see him with his Cypher, the old man, the trademark Cypher, and we also see his Venonat has evolved into a Venomoth, which was really cool, considering I made the ranking video the other day and was literally talking about how his Venonat should have evolved. So this was just awesome to see, and yeah, definitely a highlight of this episode for me. Ash meets up with Professor Oak and he sees the 3 Kanto starters. Of course, this was quite poetic, being like the last episode. We're going to get all these little references to the original series and the beginning of Kanto, obviously seeing the Kanto starters. And Charmander's gone missing. He's fell down this little cave thing, and Ash jumps in to save him. And who is there but Gary Oak to stick his hand out and save Ash. And Gary's role in this episode was very small, which I was a bit disappointed about, to be fair. It's one of the things I wish, I would have liked a battle maybe. It didn't have to be this big spectacle battle. It just could have been like a simple Pikachu versus Umbreon or something, just something to call back to that battle after the Orange Islands. Just something small, something that Gary could have actually done. But Gary does ask Ash the question, what now? Like, what are you going to do now that you're a champion? How far are you to becoming a Pokemon Master? And I don't think Ash had thought about this yet, so he kind of ponders it a little bit, and I think it gets him a bit down because I think he loses his excitement about the journey and what's next, because he doesn't really know what to do. But it's hard to tell what exactly was being said without subtitles just yet. But from what I got, Ash was just kind of thinking about what a Pokemon Master actually is, and I think he realises that being champion isn't a Pokemon Master. He still has more contenders, more challenges out there, and more Pokemon to meet, and obviously that ties into the ending later on. So I would have liked a bit more Gary in this episode, but this episode was very reminiscent of like them early original series episodes, like Showdown at the Poke Corral and stuff like that, where Ash goes back to the lab and he's kind of just chilling. Gary comes and gives him some grief. And obviously Tracy being there and having an actual speaking role as well just made it feel more homely, like Pallet Town was more lived in, and rather than just the glimpses that we've had in Journeys, it felt more like an actual place where people were living and interacting, just like the old days really. Team Rocket were really disappointing in this episode for me. They are back at Team Rocket HQ. We thought it was going to be some big climax, but it really wasn't. They were all just working in the cafe, which was funny. They were all serving people and refusing to speak to each other. But literally the very next scene, they're just back together. Like, no explanation, they just get back together, which is really strange. They obviously tried to capture Pikachu one last time, and Ash doesn't bring any of his Pokemon, so he literally can't save Pikachu. But it doesn't matter because the boy Pidgeot swoops down, saves Ash, and I saw some things before that Pidgeot might be returning, and I didn't know how to feel about it. I thought it was just going to be like Butterfree, just some thrown in cameo, but this return was done really well, and I'm glad they did this. I would have preferred if they did this for Butterfree instead. Obviously it wouldn't make sense because Butterfree went off with its girlfriend Butterfree, but Pidgeot does make sense because it is in this forest with the other Pidgeotto and Pidgey. But I feel like they gave the best return to a Pokemon that wasn't all that important. I see a few people saying that Pidgeot had more personality in this one episode than it did in the whole of the original series, which is kind of true. But still, I don't want to take away from the return because it was incredible to see Pidgeot back. I still liked Pidgeotto and Pidgeot in the original series. I thought it was a great Pokemon for Ash, and obviously we haven't seen it in so long, and finally it is back, and it's returned with Ash as well. It's not just gone back to the forest, it's actually joining him and going back to the lab. So yeah, this was such a nice return to see it back. It really pulled on them heartstrings. After this, Ash and Pikachu get caught in the rain while sleeping, and this kind of was the moment. I don't know exactly what Ash was saying to Pikachu, but from what I've worked out, he was saying there's still more to do, there's still more to explore, more Pokemon to meet, and more challenges. So they're still going. They're not a Pokemon Master just yet, and I don't think a Pokemon Master actually exists from everything that is said about it. So I think it's just kind of this myth that you'll never reach, and we always kind of knew that, and it was never going to be solved in just this last episode. But I thought it was cool. I think it all comes full circle. Ash was never going to just all of a sudden stop going on a journey. That's just not like him at all. So he sets off on a new journey with his new shoes, and it was a perfect ending for him, really. The episode itself wasn't completely perfect, but I thought it completely makes sense for Ash and Pikachu. They want to meet new Pokemon. They want to just keep travelling and keep on their journey. Obviously, we're not going to see it. This is just our final step with them, but they will still be out there travelling, and who knows. I thought they did leave it kind of open-ended to maybe one day he'll come back, and I kind of hope so. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up too much, but maybe in a few years time he'll be a bit older, he'll come back and he'll be even stronger, new Pokemon, and maybe he'll eventually interact with our new protagonist from this new series. But I thought this was a fantastic way to send him off. It had so much emotion to it, and it was a really great episode. And yeah, just thank you Ash and Pikachu for 26 years, the same amount of time that I've been alive, so they've been around all my life. And that is it for Ash and Pikachu. That is their final episode. We're all going to miss them, but I'm sure they'll be back on our screens again. But for now, it's time to switch our attention to a new series, and it's finally time to leave Ash behind, as much as it saddens me to say. So next up, let's talk about Pokemon Horizons. We actually have a name for this new series, which is weird because when Journeys was announced, it was just called Pocket Monsters 2019, and I was kind of worried that we'd just have the same here with Pocket Monsters 2023. But it's actually called Horizons, which is pretty cool. Can't really take too much from that name yet, but we also got a trailer. We have Liko receiving her pendant, and there's just loads of different shots in this trailer, and it seems to have a lot of potential. It seems to be really well animated, and the characters just look really fun, and it looks like they all have their own individuality and goals, and they're aiming towards some stuff, but we don't actually know really what. Roy is trying to battle the Pokemon from Legends, whatever that means, and Liko is kind of just trying to solve this mystery. And then you see Freed and you see his whole crew, and they're basically a mystery solving team or something. The trailer really does look great, but it's not giving away too much in terms of plot. I'm just hoping there is a lot of battle action and someone who actually wants to battle, because if it's all just adventure and mystery and there's not much battle, then it could lose a few people who really like battling, like myself. I'm sure they'll include that, as battling is such a huge part of the games and the anime. And we even see a battle at the start with Sprigatito versus the edgy dude's Ceruledge, and the animation just looks so clean, and this guy's character design looks amazing. I just can't wait to see this series, and it is kicking off soon now that Ash has finally left. So what's up next? We've got a bit of a break. We're not getting the first, I think we're getting 2 episodes on the 14th of April. It's an hour special, so it probably will be 2, unless it's just marketed as 1 long episode, which would also be cool. But Pokemon Horizons will be kicking off on the 14th of April, and we'll probably get news like next Friday and all the Fridays in between before it starts, and I'm really looking forward to it. But in the meantime, Ash has gone. We're all emotional. That episode hit very hard, and it's really sad to see the boy go. So let me know what you think. Let me know how you're feeling about Ash leaving, and be sure to check out all the new series that I'm starting on the channel. I'm doing a ranking series of all Ash's companions to celebrate him, and then I've got a new series coming soon as well, so look out for that. And be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. And that's it for now.